I'm Debbie Lang, a top New Jersey realtor with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Fox and Roach Realtors. I'm available to help you with all your real estate needs in central New Jersey. Please email me at debthevoiceofrealestate@gmail.com. You can also call me at 609-213-1900. Not looking for a home in New Jersey? I can refer you anywhere in the United States. I'm happy to help you. I'm here for you. Good Sunday morning to you. This is Debbie Lang, the voice of real estate on Fox Sports, 920 The Jersey and 920thejersey.com. We're 1 week into the selling season of 2017, and the real estate market looks good for the next 6 months at least. As a matter of fact, an aggregator of great data, CoreLogic, has forecasted that home prices will increase by 4.7% on a year-over-year basis from November 2016 to November 2017. So if you're thinking of buying real estate, now might be the time to do it. And if you're thinking of putting your house on the market, do not wait until the spring market. It is hot, hot, hot. I just listed a fabulous house with clients that moved here a year ago from Australia, and they're going back. And they just spent over $130,000 putting in a beautiful, modern, brand new kitchen and a whole new bathroom and a half and all new floors, and the house is in mint condition, and it is gorgeous in the greater Princeton area. So we did have one of our first snowfalls this week in New Jersey, but that does not stop homeowners from putting their house on the market. So now is the beginning of the spring market, so don't wait. So with that being said, what is going to happen in 2017, and how did we finish out 2016? I'm honored and delighted to have back on the Voice of Real Estate today my Senior Vice President and Regional Manager of Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Fox and Roach Realtors, and the Trident Group. He has been in the real estate business just a few years, since 1975, and I've been in 30, so he's in over 40, and we have a lot of information for you, so you want to listen to this show. David Rickel, welcome to the Voice of Real Estate. It's good to have you here today.
Thanks, Debbie, and good morning to you.
You've been doing this a long time, and you've seen the ups and the downs of the market. And what are you seeing in terms of how we finished as a company? We're number one in the network in the United States, Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Fox and Roach Realtors, and we had an amazing 2016. What are those statistics, and what are we looking at for 2017?
Well, yes, we are number one in the market with units as well as volume. 2016. The first 6 months, we were 15% ahead of 2015. We are actually 71% ahead of the lowest point in the market from 2011. So the market has responded really well. The second half of the year was as strong, up around 11%. And what was interesting, November and December, which historically are slower months, we had better months than we had in the beginning of the year, and we think it's from two things. One, the election being over and people kind of getting back into the normal world. And two, there is a thought process that mortgage rates may be ticking up after the first of the year, and not going up dramatically, but any little tick in the market will push a buyer off the dime and get them to take action. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. The last 2 months and the first 4 or 5 days of this year, and we track our data every day, there is a lot of activity out there, and there are a lot of properties getting pended, which is going to kick us off for a really good first half of 2017.
Well, I want to say that if I'm a barometer, I'm just one of 4,500 agents, and we have about 60 offices in our network, which is our region, actually, which is New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Delaware. I have found that my inventory is selling. It's being shown even through the holidays. You know, people say, don't put your house on the market during the holidays. Wait till the spring when the leaves are on the trees and the flowers are out. But I feel that there's activity and there's a lack of inventory, and that's the issue. So I've really been flying houses off the shelf, and I'm starting fresh with some new listings that are coming on, and that people are not waiting if they have to sell their house, which is great for buyers to get out there now. Nothing's going to stop us. We're unstoppable right now, and I think that's great. And what I did see as a statistic was that housing affordability in the United States was at an 8-year low this past year because of mortgage interest rates. And that makes a big difference. People can afford a lot more house when interest rates are lower. And there's no question that it's ticking up. And America was on edge with this election. And we have this whole new year to look forward to, and actually 4 years, I should say, with Trumponomics. And forecasters have said that Trumponomics can be good for the real estate business. After all, our future president or our president-elect is someone who was in the real estate business. So it could be very positive. So if you're not in real estate, now might be the time to think about it, because real estate as an investment is not just an investment. It's where you live. It's your lifestyle. It's your home. And it's something that, makes a big difference in your quality of life.
Well, you're right. And what typically or what historically has been that the real estate market would traditionally open after the Super Bowl. That would kind of be the beginning, and then that would lead into the spring market, and it would run through June, July, maybe August, a bit of a slowdown. But what we've seen in recent years is all that's kind of gone out the window, and the market is there when the market is there. With the mortgage rates as low as they have been over the past 2 years or so, the ability for people to buy homes is just so much greater today. And where people would think not to put a house on the market in December, not to put a house on the market in January, that's all changed. There is a lack of inventory, which causes prices to be higher. So if you're thinking about selling, it's a tremendous time to take advantage of the opportunity. There are a lot of buyers, and the buyers that are out today are buyers. They're not people just driving around looking at houses, questioning, maybe should I. People that are looking at houses this time of the year are buying houses. So it's a great, great time to do that. Our market is a little bit unique against the rest of the country in that we don't have the highs and we don't have the lows that you generally will see in California and Florida, in different markets where the markets run up and then the markets crashed. So in the Delaware Valley, we have the luxury of a bit more stability. Employment's a little bit more stable. So the opportunity to purchase a home is just great.
I love selling real estate for over 30 years in the greater Princeton area, and I've lived here since 1982 because it is midway between Philadelphia and Manhattan, two of the greatest cities that really do have all the jobs. And the whole Route 1 corridor is loaded with pharmaceutical companies and financial companies, and that has really driven a lot of the real estate because we also have access to public transportation to those hubs. So that's why we are insulated. And what I am finding with the baby boomers and the millennials, which consists of over 14 million people in the United States, they love a high walkability score. And we do have the beauty of downtown Princeton having the beautiful shops and restaurants and ability to actually live in downtown Princeton. So these types of areas have become really insulated with regard to the economy and interest rates because there's always going to be an audience of people from every age group that's going to want to live in that type of environment. Our corporate offices are in the greater Philadelphia area, and in Center City we have a phenomenal office, and I've noticed this past year real estate in the city of Philadelphia has been phenomenal. What have you seen, David, down there?
Pretty much what you just said. The Center City Philadelphia market is just on fire. The prices are astronomical. Properties come on, they sell within hours, and they're selling with multiple bids. And it's a combination of what you just said. The millennials and the boomers, they want walkability. So if you're in Center City, you can walk everywhere. If you're in Princeton, you can walk anywhere. If you're in Morristown, you can walk anywhere. So in these areas that are more townish-like, there's tremendous opportunity. And it seems in Center City, for whatever reason, it seems prices are, there's no ceiling in sight right now. Everything that gets built is sold almost before it's coming out of the ground. It's really a phenomenon.
Very positive. And it's interesting. A lot of people used to exit New Jersey as they look to retire. And so I do understand that some of the legislation has changed. So it's become a little bit easier to live and die in New Jersey, actually. We did see a gas tax of 23 cents in November. And we did see some tax cuts that are going to be implemented in 2017. So as a result, it's becoming a little bit more palatable to live in the state of New Jersey. And there are a lot more options. We do have a lot of 55 and over retirement communities, which we talked about. But not everybody wants that. A lot of people want to age in place, and we are seeing that millennials and Generation Xers are bringing their parents to live with them. So bigger homes are coming back again, where people do want the 2-master suite home. So we're seeing a combination of households where the millennials weren't leaving the baby boomer homes, but now as they turn into Generation Xers, if you want to call them that, as they get older into their 30s, the millennials are turning into their 30s, they are looking to possibly have their aging parents with them, or the international clientele. That's something that's very cultural. They do like to have their family either visit from out of the country for 6 months out of the year. So they are looking for that space. So it's very interesting how the needs of the buyers are changing as well.
Well, you're seeing multi-generational families happen now, and they're going into, as you said, you've got children that may have gone away to college. They're coming back living at home. You've got parents, seniors that are coming and living with their children, kind of as a retirement place to settle in. So that's a phenomenon that has not really existed up until very recently. As far as New Jersey goes, we're seeing a really strong market in all parts of New Jersey. In South Jersey, with access to Center City, there's many over 55 communities. There's many small communities that have smaller homes, and it gives the consumer, the home buyer, the ability to commute over any of the bridges into town. And the same thing up in the Princeton market, where you can be in a bit of the outskirt and be a car ride or a quick rail ride into either downtown Princeton or New York. So the taxes and the talk about New Jersey, I think, is incorrect. And if you speak to people that are actively selling real estate in the marketplace, you see that.
It's interesting. New Jersey's population rose slightly. There was an exodus at one point because of the taxes. Real estate taxes are high, but you know what? You get what you pay for. The public school system, is particularly in the greater Princeton area, and we have about 5 municipalities that have some of the highest rated school districts in the United States. The kids have the highest SAT scores in the country. And the reason for that is because, A, you have professional parents that advocate for great school systems. You have a lot of these teachers that are highly paid, have master's degrees, and they're educating your children. And this is a public school education, some of the best education you can get in the country, second to none to the private schools that we have in the greater Princeton area, which is amazing. So you get what you pay for, right? So if you're paying these taxes, if you have children and you're a family, it's all relative, right? It all becomes relative. But I found it really fascinating that New York's population had declined and the Garden State had increased last year, which is amazing. There's approximately 8.7 million residents in the state of New Jersey from the 2010 census. And Pennsylvania has about 12,800,000, and it declined a bit. So it's very interesting, the movement, because I think, David, we found that most people stay kind of local. It's very interesting. When I meet new clients that are looking to sell their house, I find it interesting that they were born and raised in this area, and they come back to settle in this area to raise their families. They may go to college elsewhere and travel all over the world for their jobs, but they ultimately, a lot of them end up staying pretty local. We do get relos here because of the companies, but most of the people are, native to the area. Very interesting.
That's a uniqueness to the Delaware Valley, and we see that in both states. We see that in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And as you said, the children may go away to school or do their traveling, but they end up nesting back in their family area where they grew up, where they're familiar with.
It's so true. Now, Larry Flick, the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, HomeServices, Fox and Roach Realtors, and the Trident Group, is brilliant. And he puts out something called the Chairman's Report. David, can you share that with our listening audience, what he put out recently in terms of a forecast?
Sure. He puts the report out 4 times a year, and Larry is kind of a visionary in the world of real estate, nationally known, nationally recognized. And what Larry is thinking, and based on his metrics and all the research that he does, he is saying he's projecting a 4% increase in average sale price, a 3% increase in units, and a small uptick in financing, which all plays out very well for the consumer.
It does. And you know what? Now would be the time to lock in that 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage if you're really thinking that you want to do something real estate-wise, whether you're moving up or down or sideways, right? It would be the time to do that in 2017. And what do you think the impact of Trumponomics is on our real estate here in New Jersey for this coming year?
That's really a wild card. I would tell you that from the people that I speak with, if you take the political angle out of it, a lot of people view Trump as a business person, and a business person is good for interest rates. A business person is good for the economy. Again, if you take all the political stuff out of it, I think we potentially can see a pretty decent real estate market. The stock market has done well, contrary to what people were saying. So I think you're going to see, I think people are happy right now. I think they're happy going into the new year. They're happy having the election behind. They're happy having the Great Recession of some years back behind. People that had bought at the top of the market and then went underwater, they seem to be recovering now. So I think we're really poised to carry the success that we had in 2016 into 2017. I think we're going to see a pretty good year. Just a comment about you, Debbie, if I could.
Oh, thank you.
There are realtors and there are career realtors. There's a lot of realtors in the market, but there's very few career realtors in the market, and you're one of those. So if people are looking for great information, great advice, great input, Debbie Lang definitely is a person to be speaking to.
Well, thank you. I'm very passionate about the real estate business because I do try to think outside the box. I'm rather a unique realtor that loves to educate and offer a lot of enlightening information based on my years of experience. 30 years ago, when I first got into the business, the way I got into it is that I used to love to go look at new construction, and I visited every new development within a 15-mile radius of Princeton. I still have all the original brochures and the floor plans because I love decorating, I loved houses, and I love people. And then, of course, I love negotiating contracts. So it was a natural for me to segue into real estate. And the first year I was in the business, I was the Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you knew that. And
I did know that.
You did know that? And
I did.
You didn't. And then subsequently, second year, I was President's Circle, President's Club equivalent. It was called President's Club at the time. And it's passion. I really love this business. And I love turning a house into a home. I love educating my buyers and my sellers in terms of the best things to do in the marketplace. And I find it rewarding when people are blown away by what I deliver. And that, to me, is so rewarding. And that's what keeps me waking up every morning because I'm very excited. I never know what tomorrow is going to hold. And I'm excited about this market for 2017. If I'm a barometer that you can gauge the real estate market by, my phone is ringing off the hook, which is wonderful for this time of year, whether it's snowing or not. It's really exciting, I think.
You know, there was a whole discussion about the internet and the impact that the information on the internet has as connected to the real estate world. And yes, the consumers have far more information than they've ever had. What they don't have is context, and they don't know when they say that the neighbor's house sold for X. What they don't know is that the neighbor's house had new windows, a new roof, a new heating system, a new kitchen. So realtors add a tremendous amount of value in being able to take the data and then putting some information in back of that data. It's not just numbers.
It's so true. It's so true. Because there are all these marketing sites. I think the consumer doesn't realize Zillow, Trulia, these are marketing sites. They're some computer on the West Coast in Silicon Valley that's spewing out information, which is probably about 60% accurate. It's so hyper local, and it's going to just grab data within a certain geographical area. And it might take a $2 million home that is brand new and a $300,000 home that is old and falling apart, and flooded, and take that and average it and give you some number, which is really not accurate. It really is something that you cannot replace a real estate professional with a computer. Not at this stage. You can't.
There's also a piece that deals with the presentation. Again, on a computer, you see numbers. When a career realtor comes into your home, they can tell you and show you how to present the home. The word today, staging, is an often used word. But when you're marketing a home, you really need someone that knows what the market's looking for and how to present it in the fashion that they want to see it. And that's a very, very critical role as a realtor in the marketplace.
It's so true. And buyers are very particular. And I just read an article about millennials in particular because they're going to be the biggest home buyers audience that you're going to get in the next decade in particular. And they are accustomed to instant information, instant gratification, and they have certain expectations because they were raised by us baby boomers, right? So you have to present your home to your next buyer in terms of their anticipation of what they're looking for because they'll move on. They have too much information at their fingertips on their mobile smartphones. So they will move on if your home is not presented in a proper way.
It's also a case, an agent mentioned this to me some time ago, that the first viewing of a home is not in person. The first viewing is what they see online. So the consumer begins their search, could be a week in advance, could be a year in advance. And when they start looking at homes on the market, if the homes aren't presented well online, that home is going to be discounted.
I have to tell you something interesting. I have very specific vendors that I trust, and I spend extra money in my marketing to present my properties in a certain way. And can I tell you something, David? Even after these homes are sold and long gone, or if they came off the market, I'm getting phone calls from their presence on the internet, which I think is very interesting. One example is that I do virtual staging for vacant homes, which I'm about to do for this beautiful new home I just listed in Hopewell Township. It is a vacant home. These clients bought it about a year ago, and they're being transferred back to their home country, which is Australia. And they were concerned about them removing their furniture from the property. I said, don't worry, I can virtually stage it. I do the before and after so you can see what it looks like empty. And I'm going to have it professionally decorated virtually for the buyer that may potentially want to buy that house. Very modern because it's a modern home. And the same thing, I use a special glide cam virtual tour. It's not just a zoom in, zoom out of a photograph, which we offer with its own URL site on our marketing site of our company. But I go the extra mile and I do something that has a special glide cam, which feels like you're actually flying through the house, walking right through it in a drone or in a plane. You really feel like you've been there. And I have another resource for a 3D floor plan, so you can actually walk around the house. So you don't even have to be there to see it. And this is where I've actually sold listings in the past where people on the West Coast have looked at my marketing online and they told their realtor what they wanted to make an offer on. And they actually made an offer on one of my properties, sight unseen, based on my marketing online. Pretty incredible.
That's happening more and more. And one would think, how can you do that? But with the marketing tools that you just mentioned, it does give the consumer the ability to walk through, to feel it, to really see how the house feels, and to be able to lay the house out and design it as they want it to be. And with reload buyers coming in from out of the area, we're seeing that. It
really is amazing. So we as a company, statistically, David, we had an amazing year. What do you have some of the stats? Are they out?
Not finished yet, but we're hovering right around 30,000 units which is where we were back in 2003 or 4. So we really had a great year. I think the fact that we ended up being number one in the network, both in units and in volume. We were always challenged with California because their average sale price starts at $1 million and ours is in the probably mid-threes. So to be number one in units, kind of expected to be number one in volume, was a great surprise for us, and that was revealed last March at the annual convention. And Larry Flick's challenge to all of us was to repeat that again, and it looks like we're going to be there. It's
absolutely phenomenon, because the houses that are under $1 million tend to sell a little bit better. Not everybody has over $1 million to spend on their home. So statistically, the lesser price homes are doing much better, I would think.
I would tell you, every home that is properly priced by a career realtor like you will sell. If it's staged correctly, marketed correctly, and I'm not just saying throwing it up on the internet. I'm talking about really marketing it the way that you do, Debbie.
Yeah, you can't do that today. You can't just throw it in the multiple listing and expect it to sell. It's not like that. It's really critical. And that's why I hold back from putting listings until they're absolutely perfect and staged, because that initial first 2 weeks that it's on the market is so critical how it presents to the public.
Absolutely.
It really has to present. So I'm looking for more listings for a great 2017. It's a great time to get you your highest and best price. If you're looking to move on to something different, I need that inventory. We need that inventory. It's going to be a good year. And if you are a buyer that is looking to buy, now is the time. Please call me for a free consultation for buying or selling any kind of real estate, whether you're looking to invest and flip, because I have a lot of flippers. That's big with the HGTV shows, and Berkshire Hathaway has partnered with some of these national shows on HGTV. Right now, there's some great opportunity. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. Now is the time. And I would not be waiting until, quote, the spring market. Even though there's snow outside of my window right now, the spring market has already begun. It began January 2nd.
It certainly did. We're not waiting even for the Super Bowl, let alone the spring market and the leaves to come out on the trees or the flowers to bloom. Now is the time. And it's a great time if you're a seller, because there is less competition, because traditionally everybody thinks they should wait till the spring market, so you have more competition. So now you will stand out a lot more. The sooner the better. And I have to say, I am busy usually every season. I don't really just work the spring market. I work every season. So if I'm a barometer, you know that now might be the time to do it. So David, thank you for coming on The Voice of Real Estate and sharing your knowledge and information.
It was my pleasure to speak with you, and I always love working with you. You are one of our best.
Oh, thank you, David. And you are one of our best RVPs. So you know how to reach me. I am Debbie Lang, your top New Jersey realtor with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Fox and Roach Realtors in beautiful downtown Princeton, covering all 3 counties of Mercer, Middlesex, and Somerset, as well as Hunterdon. I wish you a beautiful day, and I'll see you next week at 9. I'm Debbie Lang, a top New Jersey realtor with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices, Fox and Roach Realtors. As a 5-star award-winning professional for over 25 years, I can help you with all your real estate needs. Whether you need to sell your home or want to buy a home, call me to find out why now may be the right time to make a move. My number is 609-213-1900, or you can email me at debthevoiceofrealestate@gmail.com.